Breaking news,
Oh,
by the way.
what?
We're recording.
Yeah, no, I'm fully aware, but I just want to know what this breaking news is.
Breaking news. Kick Sauber managed to have an under 5 second pit stop in the race. Well done. Let's go with it.
What a thing to bring up.
Very well done. They did a not quite a sub 3 seconds, but they did 2 stops, and they did a 3 second one, and 3.5, and then like a 5.3. But they did have 2 pit stops sub 5 seconds. So very well done at Joe's home Grand Prix. They've really pulled out all the stops. So very well done to them.
You were rinsing them the whole race about.
I know.
How slow is this one going to be?
I know. I've always had a thing against Sauber, haven't I?
Yeah.
Like, last year,
I've been against a couple of teams, I think.
But I think particularly last year they were like the most boring team. They're the best liveries, but like they were just never anywhere. And then this year they can't even fix a wheel nut.
Yeah, you do have a real problem. Was it Stake that had the accident as well? That bumped into? Was it that, or was that the? Who was the one who hit the pit crew? Remember who? Do you remember who?
Oh, was it
who hit the pit crew today?
Someone hit the pit crew today. Yeah, was it Alpine? I think it was Gasly. It was Gasly. Yeah.
Oh, Gasly.
Oh, Alpine.
What's going on? Give that other stat that you've got.
Gasly going into this Grand Prix weekend had not overtaken a single person.
Considering Gasly is not, in the past few seasons has been a really good driver and has definitely outperformed the cars that he's been in the last couple of years. But yeah, clearly this season is not he's not doing well.
Yeah, it's not doing well.
It's not going well.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome back.
It's Lights Out.
Away we go.
Verstappen pulled a second. Oh yeah. Okay. We've got notes down here, by the way, of just things.
Start reading the notes out.
Yeah.
Well, let's start. Okay, let's start from the.
Well done, Max. Good job.
Oh yeah. Well, I was going to say let's start from the sprint.
Okay. Go on then. Yeah, because I didn't actually manage to get around to watching the sprint. I was busy, but go on. You can give me all the insight.
Well, qualifying was really good. Qualifying, you had
which qualifying?
Sprint qualifying.
Okay, sprint qualifying.
Yeah. So the sprint qualifying was really good. It was because it went from dry to wet.
Yeah.
And then we had some really good. I mean, Hamilton P2, Norris P1.
Yeah.
There's not too much to talk about, but it was a really good sprint.
Talk about the format this weekend because it's different. It was different, wasn't it?
Yeah. What was it? You had practice.
So it was practice on Friday, and then you had your sprint qualifying Saturday morning. Ignore me. What am I talking about?
Yeah, it was.
No, it was.
No, practice on Friday.
Practice Friday.
Sprint qualifying on Friday.
On Friday, yes.
Then you had the race on Saturday.
Sprint race Saturday, qualifying for the Sunday race on Saturday, and then the race today.
Yeah.
It's just finished, by the way, if you're wondering. Our filming.
We've literally just watched the race. You know what? I was thinking this. I was like, I don't really like the sprint, but it's at least like, because the teams have less time to prepare, he sort of did mix the grid up. And then with the wet weather and everything as well, there was a little bit of a mixed grid during qualifying. So, and also I'm thinking, if you're a fan, you're getting 2 races, 2 qualifying sessions. Practice is quite boring to watch, to be honest. You're just sort of there. It's like, okay, nice. Like it's practice, but it's practice.
Yeah.
So, I can see from a fan perspective to be there, it's actually quite fun. A lot more.
I think it'd be great. I think it'd be great to be there.
Yeah.
I think that's really good. I mean, it's just more racing. You're getting more for your money, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And two races. So
yeah. Initially, I was a hater of the sprint, and I still think it's a pointless thing because I think the end of the day, it's just more points for the faster cars. But when you have it at like a new track where they haven't been to, and they don't get any practice, like the less practice they have, the better. So it was quite good for that. So,
I like it.
Yeah.
I like the sprint races. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I like the sprints.
The race was really good. The first 9 laps, I was like enjoying it, and then Verstappen passed Hamilton, and then pulled 13 seconds in 10 laps, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
it's terrible.
And again, what do you expect?
It was 1.6 seconds a lap quicker, I think, which is crazy.
The norm, isn't it? It's the norm now.
Yeah.
And then expecting
you had Hamilton, who was like P2 in the wet, obviously. So they always said the rain's like, it's more down to talent than it is the car, because the cars sort of balance out a bit more.
Yeah.
But then you go into qualifying, and Hamilton said, and he said, we went with a different setup because the car couldn't get much worse. And he was meaning in the dry, because obviously in the wet they got P2. And the car got worse.
It got so much worse.
It was just worse.
In P18,
Yeah.
Not getting out. Oh, P18 is just for a Mercedes. Not getting out of Q1 is just painful.
So terrible.
That's
So
painful.
terrible.
It's just slow, man. That Mercedes is so slow.
So slow. Like so slow.
Which showed how good I think Hamilton actually did today.
Yeah, he had a really good recovery
to get all the way back up to P8 or whatever he was.
Yeah, I think P9 in the end. I think
P9. Yeah,
he came back and got all the way up to P9. It's a good job for him. George had a good race, to be fair, as well. In what is pretty much the third or fourth slowest car at the moment.
Easily.
Far behind McLaren, far behind Ferrari. I think Aston Martin is quicker if they didn't have such a bad driver in Stroll.
Oh my god!
Right, okay.
Accident. You can't. I can't take him seriously as a driver. I can't take him seriously because that's the sort of stuff that shows how crap he is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's the level of his level. Yeah. To do stupid stuff like that.
Yeah, and if you haven't watched the race, basically what happens is they're all behind the safety car. And they all slow down for the hairpin, getting ready for the restart, and Verstappen like getting ready to go. And Stroll just drives straight into the back of Ricciardo under the safety car, and then proceeds to say that he got brake checked.
Yeah.
And that Ricciardo was an idiot.
Oh my god.
And then he got 10-second penalty, and he was like, this is a joke. And it's like, literally just driven straight into the back of another guy for no reason. It was so stupid.
He pushed Ricciardo, who went into Piastri.
I think so.
Piastri had damage, didn't he?
Yeah, Piastri said he had damage, but in the replay, it didn't look like he got hit.
No. But I mean, he must have done otherwise, because he did lose a couple of places, didn't he, Piastri? Because he had damage.
Yeah.
But I didn't see huge amount of contact on Ricciardo to Piastri.
No, but Ricciardo had big damage. Yeah, and Ricciardo had to retire. Actually, we'll go on to Ricciardo in a sec. But
I want to talk about Ricciardo.
Yeah, we'll go. But for Stroll, I have a bit of a hot take. Another hot take. And I'm going with hot takes every week now.
Yeah, go
on. I think Stroll would be a better driver if he didn't drive for Aston Martin.
Agreed. I don't think that's a hot take.
Okay.
I don't think that's hot take at all. Yeah, he would. It's because he's driving in the top 3 or 4 teams on the grid that makes him look worse than he probably actually is.
Yeah, like if he was, I also think
if he was in like a Haas or like a Williams or like a Stake, you'd go, it's more his level.
Yeah. I don't think he's as bad as like a Sargent.
No,
but I also think that because his dad owns the team, he has no pressure to drive well. And realistically, he's never going to lose his seat.
Wow, to a degree, you'd think if he's getting P20 every single race, like his dad would go, "Come on, mate."
Yeah,
he's not a complete idiot.
Yeah, but he's also not coming P20 every race. He's still getting points and stuff.
No, he isn't. Yeah.
So, but I think he would do better because if he had the threat of actually losing his seat, I think he would do better.
Has there been any period with him in that Aston Martin where he's actually outperformed the car? Is there a single race that you can think of where you've gone, wow, he's done very well that time? Because I can't.
There's races he's done well, like Bahrain when he broke his wrist and he came back and he had a good result.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's had good results, but that's more the car for me than actually him.
And I mean, in Racing Point, he's had good races, but he's outperformed teammates sometimes. I think Alonso,
but in the Aston Martin specifically, since the regulation changes, I don't think he has.
No, I don't think he's ever outperformed the car.
Whereas Alonso does that regular.
Yeah, but okay? I'm playing devil's advocate here. Is it the situation of Alonso's actually just driving to the car's capability, not outperforming it, but Stroll is just so much under that level?
Not with how good that snap was that Alonso saved today. That shows how good he is.
Yeah. No, I don't agree with that point. Yeah.
So Alonso earlier today, again, if you didn't watch it, it was pretty near the end of the race. I think it was probably maybe 51, 52.
Yeah.
And Alonso just kind of dipped his back. I think it was his back right tire, didn't he, in the dirt,
chasing Hamilton,
and the kick was like he was basically sideways for a second.
Yeah.
And managed to hold it. It was one of the best saves.
It was an unbelievable
It was
save.
unbelievable.
It was exactly what Carlos Sainz did, just Carlos Sainz didn't save it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think
There's the
very,
level.
I think very few drivers would have saved that. I think Max, Lewis, Hamilton, Lewis and Alonso.
Yeah.
Would have.
The rest would have spun. Unbelievable.
Oh, it was ridiculous. It was a crazy save.
Anyway, back to Daniel Ricciardo.
Okay, so right, hear me out. Okay,
No. Hold on. I'm talking first. So last week, JJ said that Daniel Ricciardo has been absolutely stinky. Like
which he had been.
Okay, he's not been good. But this weekend, Daniel Ricciardo, he was listening to the podcast and thought, I'm not having any of that.
Daniel Ricciardo heard what I said and was like, nah.
I'm going to beat Sonoda all weekend next weekend.
Yeah.
Not having any of this. And he drove a really, really good weekend. Obviously, really sorry for him to have dropped out so in the way he did.
Yes. Yeah. To be fair, Ricciardo, I sort of take back what I said. I don't think he'll be out of the car by halfway through the season. Because he did better than Sonoda this weekend.
He did much,
and he was very unlucky to get smacked into the back of by Stroll under the safety car.
You could tell he was fuming.
Completely not his fault.
No,
completely not his fault.
Stroll is an idiot,
and he was having a really good weekend. So good for Daniel.
Yeah,
he's had some good races in China. So good for him.
Yeah,
keep it up.
Yeah, please
and
do.
Keep it. And I take back my hot take.
Okay.
Well, my hot take was wrong.
Your hot take was wrong.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Potentially. I mean, he could still shit the bed for the rest of the season.
He could. Yeah, well, he could. Yeah.
Wrong for the time being.
We hope not.
Yeah.
Well, basically, obviously when the drivers will speak to their speak to their team over the radio and they'll go, yeah, we should probably do plan A, plan B, whatever it is. They probably have up to, 10 different plans or whatever they've got.
Ferrari specifically seems to have a lot of plans. I think a lot of teams have like 3 or 4. And
specifically Ferrari, but obviously they basically said, let's, to Leclerc, let's go to plan D, right? And within 2 seconds, it was one of the pundits, Rosberg or whoever it was, when they're doing a one-stop strategy, which just made me laugh because I thought, why are they even bothering calling it plan D? Just call it a one-stop or lie. Like you were saying, Mercedes did a couple of years ago. Just lie, and then the rest of the grid won't know what you're doing.
Yeah,
everybody knew you said plan D, and everyone just went, he's doing a one-stop.
Yeah.
It's like that was not subtle at all.
There's nothing secretive about what they're saying.
Yeah. I mean, everyone knows your game plan now, like straight away.
That is funny, yeah.
They should have gone, right, let's do a 2-stop and then only done the 1-stop.
Yeah.
But I found that funny.
It is funny. That is really funny. I think they should have. Yeah. I think the issue is, right, they don't know what's going to be said on the broadcast. I guess because they're probably talking a lot.
True. Yeah, they're talking probably the whole, pretty much, 75% of the race.
Yeah.
Good point, actually. They're not expecting. No, they know that's going to come. That's going to
sort of. Yeah, they must.
Surely.
Yeah.
Surely.
No, that is interesting. But yeah, it's stupid. Everyone's like, yeah. So they're going on a one.
Yeah, they're going on a one. And then like 2 minutes later, one of the McLaren pit crew was speaking to Lando, and just meant Ferrari doing a one. So we just need to watch out for that.
Yeah.
We read you like a book.
Clearly. I was going to throw, who was your driver of the day?
Lando.
Straight Lando. Yeah.
Straight up. P2, beat Perez. Had a great race. He was solid the whole race. It's very just concentrated. The whole race was solid.
Driver of the weekend as well, then. Because I'm going to say it, he bottled a race win. Classic Lando Norris.
Oh, yeah.
Lando Norris bottled the race win, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yes. No, I wouldn't have put Lando as the race.
No, because he got pole position. Okay, realistically, Verstappen would have overtaken Norris.
Yeah, always.
Let's be honest.
Always.
But he should have, done a bit better than what he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like, that was shocking from him. It seems like every time he's in a position to win,
so when you feel like he's a bit of a bottle job.
So far, he is a bit of a bottle job. But he never bottles a podium. But the pressure gets to him.
But he still never had a P1.
Yeah.
which doesn't surprise me, to be fair.
How many podiums? Like 15 podiums now?
Yeah.
No P1? He's got the record now with this podium here because he was drawing last time.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Will he ever get a P1? You'd think so.
I've got another hot take.
Lando Norris will not get a single P1 in his whole career.
Do you know what? I was thinking this after the Sprint Grand Prix. I was going to be like, I don't think Lando Norris will ever get a P1 in his career.
I do.
You think he will?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to happen at some point. Yeah. It has to.
Top 5 driver on the grid.
Even if it's luck. Do you know what I mean?
Is he top 5 driver? Is he top 5 driver? You have Verstappen, Hamilton, Alonso.
Leclerc,
Norris, or George.
Norris
over George.
Norris over George.
Yeah. Science? No, Norris over Science.
Norris over Science. Yeah.
Yeah. He's top 5 driver on the grid.
5th.
He's 5th best driver on the grid.
Yeah.
Yeah. He should get a race win.
Yeah.
You would hope so.
You would. I think he will.
Yeah.
At some point. But I reckon he could still be waiting a while.
Yes.
I still think it could be like till like, I reckon it's like 2026 when
the new regulations,
something like that.
Yeah.
That like he's waiting for.
Yeah. And the reason why is because Verstappen is going to win most of the races.
He's going to win every race.
I think Verstappen was my driver of the day because
but he could be driver of the day every single week.
Yeah, I think there's voter fatigue with him, so people don't bother voting for him.
Yeah,
but I think realistically, he drove a perfect weekend apart from qualifying in the sprint.
Yeah,
yeah.
But then he's been doing that every weekend.
Yeah,
that's the only realistically for every race for the past however many weeks. We should just be saying Verstappen every single week, but we're just not going to do that because we know that. If you win the race, you win the race. So.
He was 0.6 a lap quicker to Perez at the first stint, and he was 4 to 5 tenths a lap quicker in the second stint. That's a big margin to have over your teammate.
It's huge.
Yeah,
like, that's not like you can't compare them in any metric.
No,
at all.
No. They're not on the same. They're not on the same.
They're on different planets.
Yeah,
different planets.
Verstappen's just ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
Ridiculous. Yeah. To be fair, I think the only other point I have from the Grand Prix is, I mean, I feel bad for Snowden and Racing Bulls. I think they got very unlucky to both be out. But Haas, we said at the start of the season we're going to be the worst team, and they've actually got points in a couple Grand Prix now. They're actually doing quite well.
I haven't been keeping track of Haas at all, but okay.
But they got points in this Grand Prix.
Yeah,
they got points in Saudi. Like, they're actually not the worst team. I think the worst team are Williams. Or Alpine. Williams or Alpine?
I reckon Alpine,
Alpine are very down there.
Alpine are very much down there. I mean, Albon got P12 today.
Yeah.
Oh, no, but then Ocon got P11.
Yeah.
Gasly P13, and then Sargent. Well, yeah. Williams have Sargent in the car, so I feel like
it's tough to compare because they've got a driver who it's like they got like when they had Latifi and Russell. It's like you've got a good driver and a terrible driver.
Yeah,
you don't know actually where the pace is.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is why I was saying about Aston Martin. You've got Alonso and they're a terrible driver. How much is Alonso out driving the car compared to Stroll just completely underperforming?
Yeah,
it's interesting.
I mean, to be honest. At the start of the race, Alonso was P2, and then down there, he ended up P7 at the end. So, I mean, that car didn't do him any favours, did it?
Yeah.
I mean, Stroll, P15. Keep in mind, there's only 2 behind him, which is Sargent and Magnussen in the Haas and the Williams, and he was P15 today. Oh my God, that's bad. The rest are all dumps.
Dumps.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think that's pretty much everything that I want to talk about the actual Grand Prix.
To be honest, I didn't mind the race today.
I enjoyed the race.
I didn't hate it.
It was a good race.
It wasn't unbelievable, but it was worth a watch.
Yeah, definitely worth a watch.
Which was nice, actually, because when it first started, and I remember when it was the first 5 laps in, I was thinking, oh my gosh, this could be an awful 2 hours. Yeah. This could be really bad. And then a few things happened, and I was like, oh, that makes sense.
It's actually a bit better. So I woke up at 7, and I was like, I hate my life. Why am I waking up for a Grand Prix to see Verstappen run away in the distance for it? But I'm glad I watched it.
You messaged us last night and went, you guys ready for the most boring 8 o'clock race
yeah.
ever? And I was like, oh no.
Can't be bothered.
Yeah.
But
not bad.
No, it's good. It's good. You watched the movie Wish.
I have, yes.
Recently. I think we all 3 of us watched the movie Wish.
We did. Not together.
No.
Actually, does that make that worse? Or
Yeah.
better?
We all independently watched the movie Wish.
I have watched the movie Wish.
But the premise, it's a Disney movie, and the premise of the movie is you get one wish.
Yes, and okay,
Yeah.
we won't go through the full thing, but yes, there are wishes.
Basically, yeah. But basically, what I want to ask you is, Adam, what would your one wish be?
Okay, do you want to do one where we have a Formula One wish?
Yeah.
Where we can wish anything to happen in Formula One right now.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean...
me coming in and winning the world championship.
Yeah, as in to change a rule or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's have your own wish and a Formula One wish.
Okay. So my one wish for Formula One...
Yeah.
I'm not going to go with the obvious, get rid of Verstappen.
No. Can't do something like that, but like a serious wish.
Yeah. I'm gonna say my one wish for Formula One is in the 2026 regulations, them to make the cars smaller and lighter than what they're already proposing.
Okay.
So they're proposing, for context, they're proposing about a 50 kg weight reduction, but then the engines are getting about 80 kg heavier. So it's actually going up in weight. But they are making them narrower and slightly smaller. It's not that much narrower, but they are.
Okay.
It's not quite finalized. And I do want to touch on that later, actually. But yeah, my wish is for small, light cars.
Okay. Cool. My wish is that they do what we've asked for and do the budget caps or the cost caps staggered.
Yes.
That's my wish.
Yeah.
They would, maybe at the start of 2026, if you're Red Bull and you're winning it and you've won the championship, you get the least. If you're Williams, you get the most.
Yeah.
And it just budget space. Yeah. And it incrementally, so that the bottom can start to make a way to the top, and the top it will start to even itself out.
Yeah.
That's what I wish.
And I think that would work now because every team is financially stable now.
Yeah.
Because
Agreed.
I know people think that Williams are not. Williams have a massive backer behind them now, so they actually have money. The reason they didn't bring new chassis to the Grand Prix and Sargent had to get out is because of the budget cap. They couldn't actually spend the money to get another chassis out because they bought so much software at the beginning of the year. So I like that.
Yeah. That's my wish.
An incremental budget cap, I think, would be really good for Formula One.
Yeah. I like that one. That would be amazing.
Yes. Yeah. Cool.
And then a serious, like your own wish, personally.
Yeah. Okay. So my own.
£1 billion.
So, okay, right. I don't think I'd want to have £1 billion.
No, neither would I.
Because I would be so bored. Like, I enjoy the game and the chase to achieve that. I don't.
Give me my money now. I don't.
I've realised
we're very different people in that sense.
We are very different people. I would get more pleasure out of achieving it than I do about the actual money. I care more about achieving that goal than I do about the actual monetary value of hitting that number.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not as money driven. I'd rather be. I'd rather get something out of my job, as in get a sense of achievement out of my work.
Yeah.
Then obviously money is important, but I'm not too fussed about necessarily what I do as long as it gives me a sense of, what's the word? I don't even know what I'm trying to say.
Accomplishment. Or satisfaction, yeah.
Satisfaction.
Yeah, so that's like me, but yeah. I wouldn't take £1 billion. I wouldn't take £1 billion.
No, neither would I know.
What would you take? With a wish?
But serious, like
a serious one.
Right now?
Yeah.
Oh my word. No, that's too hard now. Now that it's a serious wish and it's like a serious life wish.
Yeah.
That's a lot more serious than I was expecting it.
Yeah.
Okay, if it was a silly wish, I want to be able to fly. And I think we've had this conversation.
We have had this conversation on the podcast.
Yeah, I would fly, 100%.
But the thing was...
the freedom of flying, just being able to...
Yeah. But what pace are you flying at?
As fast as I want.
What, like as fast as a plane? Or
like I'm Superman and I can just fly.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But did your brain... So, right. This actually gets me onto the point about the Flash and Superman. So, let's say you're going at when the Flash runs around the Earth, super quickly.
Yeah.
His brain is also processing that speed, right? Because he's going to have to be able to dodge and move out of the way.
Yeah.
So, if your brain is moving at the speed of which you are flying around the Earth, running around the Earth very quickly, does that not just mean you are moving at normal pace? Everything else is just moving around you slow.
It's relative to whoever's perspective it is.
Yeah. So in your perspective,
yeah.
So if Superman was to fly around the Earth, Do you know what he's doing? He's going at like a jogging pace for however long it takes to get around the Earth.
Yeah.
Because his brain is moving at such a quick pace as well. So when the Flash runs around the Earth, he is just walking around the Earth for years in his head, but around him, stuff has only happened for a second. Does that make sense?
It 100% makes sense.
Imagine how much it would suck to have super speed. Because from my perspective, you'd get to Australia really quickly. But from your perspective, you spent like 5 years of flying in a straight line at walking pace to get to Australia.
That's actually a really good point. I've never thought about that.
So super speed sucks. Because if your brain didn't move that quickly...
But you can choose to slow down.
Yeah, but then you're not using the super speed.
You are. If I was to just run out of here at 50 mile an hour, you'd go flipped.
I was living it like that.
He's got super speed.
Yeah, but then for you, it would just be you'd get up.
But my brain,
run.
My brain, if I was to start running, my brain is working fast enough that I can run out. Like if I was to just start running at 50 mile an hour, my brain is fast enough.
You can process moving out the way of
moving it.
I feel like you'd smash into that glass door at 50 miles an hour. I'm sorry.
No, but like I would fly and I'd do it at like.
You could do it at speed. You could probably,
especially if you're up in the air.
Yeah, you could do that. Like
I could be at like
miles an hour.
I could do it faster than that. I could be at like 300 mile an hour. There's nothing really.
You're smacking into a bird and dying.
Yeah, you might. No, I would have like.
Do you also
protective gear on?
Okay. Do you also have like super strength on?
No, that's not the wish. The wish is just fly.
So then the wind resistance would just go. Like you would like realistically, you can only hit like imagine putting your head out the car at like 80 miles an hour. Your face is going like pulled back. The G-force you feel on your body.
I can wear a Formula One suit and a Formula One helmet.
Okay, yeah. And then so you'd have to also do G-force training.
Well, no, because when you're in a straight line, you don't feel the G-force.
Yeah, but then imagine you get to the guy's house, you got to slow down. You're not slamming on the brake.
Do it gradually.
you got to think about all these things, right?
No, you don't. It would just happen naturally.
Yeah.
You know, like when Spider-Man gets bitten and then like he just automatically just can do things. It will be like that. And I'll just automatically understand my...
Imagine how difficult it'll be if you're Spider-Man, right? To control your strength. Like you'll go to open the door and you'll rip it off its handle.
What?
Like in the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to teach. Anyway,
I think there's a lot of liability to having the superpower.
Probably, but I'm still going to fly. Even if I could only fly
at a running pace
to like a running pace, and I could only go probably just above like the roofs of people's houses. Now sit like
that would be sick.
It would still be unbelievable
if you could go, because you would get anywhere if you were walking anywhere. You get there so quickly.
Yeah, because you just a straight line wherever you go. Like go to work.
Yeah,
you're like, I'm just off to work. I'll see you later. Just fly off.
Yeah,
like why would it be unreal?
And when you're flying, are you just going like that? Because I'd want to pick a cool pose if I was flying. You know what I mean? Like what? Would I just be walking in the air? Would I just be levitating? Or would I be Superman-y? You know what I mean? There's like...
you can choose. It's how you fly. It's how you want to fly.
How would you want to fly?
I'd fly like... Have you ever seen like the Peter Pan films?
Yeah.
I'd just fly like Peter Pan, do you know what I mean? Like
levitate.
Just to be able to kind of do what I
You have your arms out like a plane then?
I mean, you probably would end up having your arms out. Yeah. Or I'd do like the Iron Man where you're just like...
Yes.
The Iron Man's...
I think the Iron Man's cool, just like the pencil.
Yeah,
like
yeah. That would be quite cool.
Mm.
That's a good wish, actually, just to have an Iron Man suit.
Yeah, that you knew how to fix.
Yeah.
If you mess it up.
Yeah. Anyway, what's yours?
Well, mine's a little bit more... well, I was like... Because I was like...
Oh, yeah, no, a serious wish. Okay, well, I'll need to think.
But like a serious wish. You've got to go with... Oh, I got in such a rabbit hole when I was talking with one of my friends about this because I was like, I wouldn't want to pick. You probably just want your like close people that you know to not die prematurely. But then how do you define prematurely? And then that's just getting really deep for a podcast. I don't really want to talk about it. So
it's not. No, I don't. It's not too bad. I mean, that would be a great wish. But then, I know what you mean for them to die in a normal fashion. Yeah, I know what you mean.
In a normal fashion at
a reasonable age, and not
And then I was like, what happens if I said after 80? But then imagine the fear you would have because your friends are for a fact everyone around you is invincible till 80. And then after that, you just suddenly get a hit of mortality. Like you're suddenly like everyone around me can just die now. I feel like that would completely
But
mess me up mentally.
Maybe, but at least it would only mess you up. I think you'd have to be unselfish in that time and go, look, it's going to bother me, but I
can't tell anyone else.
I can't. Yeah, you wouldn't tell anyone. I wouldn't tell anyone. And I'd be like, look, I know that people, their friends, their family, and them are going to live together for a very good, long, reasonable life.
Yeah.
Even if that's hurting me, that's a favor to them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I feel like there's a good trade-off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's a really good wish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'd want them to have a healthy life for that period.
Healthy life. Well. Yeah, of course.
Because you wouldn't want them to just get...
That's the part of the wish. They're living a long, normal, healthy life.
Yes.
That's a good wish.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a very wholesome thing to say. I like that.
Yeah.
And that's not bad. That's not bad.
And then it was interesting because Rachel was... Rachel. She was like...
JJ's girlfriend.
Yeah. She was like, she'd want no wars. Like, she'd want no wars.
I was going to say that
solved by democracy. And I was like, it's kind of shocking that I never once thought about, like, not once in my head, like, that sort of big picture crossed it. It was always about, like, how can I make my life better? I never once thought about anything else.
That's deep as well. That's the first thing I thought of a second ago.
Really?
When I was thinking serious, I was like, I would stop the wars in Ukraine. I was thinking.
Yeah. He didn't say. He said flying, by the way. He was like,
I was thinking
save hundreds of lives. Fly. He went with fly.
No. Yeah, I was thinking,
like
maybe
all wars get solved by democracy.
Wars. But then I just feel like if you were to do that, there'll be another war.
No, but if you just said there was no wars ever, everything was just solved.
Oh, just
by debating,
just life in general.
Yeah.
That would be great. Absolutely great.
Thinking about it, imagine how much money could then, if there was never going to be a war again, imagine how much money could be repurposed for different things, improving people's lives.
You say that, but a lot of people make a lot of money out of war, don't they?
Yeah.
But then,
the American government spends trillions and we spend billions. And
I mean, that's a great wish. I'm just trying to think if there's, like sometimes you make a wish like that and then there's
side effects.
There's side effects.
But I feel I have thought about the side effects and I was like, is there side effects for everything getting sorted by democracy other than population expansion?
That's exactly the sort of thing I was about to say. Would population... Because there will be a side effect of there being no wars ever.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I don't know what it would be. But there must be something. But then again, there would be no war, so you'd kind of go, that's probably a good trade-off.
Yeah. And I can only really think that
if that wish was available, you would just click that button and go, yeah, no wars, wouldn't you? You just would.
I would.
And then just deal with the consequences. Yeah, you would.
I would.
Just deal with the consequences.
Yeah, you sort of would have to just deal. I guess the Earth is always going to end up in some sort of steady state, isn't it? Where it's going to become balanced in some way. Currently, it's balanced with war being an option. There will be another way it balances itself without war being an option.
Yeah. So it will be something like
else
poverty will become even worse, or there'll be something that will...
Something will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'll be some sort of...
But no, let's click that button if it ever comes up.
Yeah.
Let's just click that button. Whoever you are, if that wish comes up, click it.
Click the button.
Just do it.
Yeah.
So
Adam will be on the side clicking fly.
Yeah. I'll be like,
wouldn't want to be this guy. Fly.
This is terrible. Okay, so yours would be that your friends and I'm trying to think if mine
long healthy lives.
I'm just trying to think. I mean, the war one's...
I think the war one's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one that I would go with. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I could do to help people in an even bigger way. Like food, no food, no poverty, that sort of thing. What do you call it? No one's malnourished, or everyone has food supply in the whole world, or something like that. If there's an even
spread, if everyone has access to food
and water, shelter.
I feel like, so I thought about that, and I feel like there's gonna be so many loopholes that come out of it.
Yeah. Like if there's such an abundance of food, then maybe everyone will become super obese, in which case the heart.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Or if everyone had access to food, you'd get some powers who would use that like access to food. I don't know. Like, what's the quality of the food they've got access to?
Yeah.
Who's controlling the supply of the food? All that sort of stuff.
That's terrible. Do you know what that shows, right?
Yeah.
That shows the greed. To say that we could wish for the world to have an abundance, and let's not say an abundance. Let's say all they need. Every single person in the world has all they need, and yet our instant thought is someone in this world will
try and control
that and destroy that.
Yeah,
that just shows the sort of world we live in.
Yeah, and also I think if everyone has all they need, they're gonna want their wants are always gonna be so much more than what they need.
Yeah,
so they're always gonna feel like they're hard done by.
100%.
Yeah,
they'll go, I've only got chicken and rice and vegetables on my plate.
I want because then maybe luxuries just become more and more scarce because everyone has the basics and more people are fighting for the luxuries.
Yeah.
And then people will control the luxuries.
And then poverty, even though the poverty becomes one normal meal of food, and then they're like, it's not good enough.
Yeah, there'll be levels of poverty. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Good questions though.
I think flying is the easiest to say.
Just fly and leave the world as it is. Yeah. And just be a cool person and fly.
Flying or teleporting?
Flying.
Really?
Enjoy the journey. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
Wow, that's deep.
Thanks. It's true though. It's true. It's the pleasure of being able to fly. I just don't understand why I'd want to teleport.
Convenience.
But great. But then can you imagine how crap it would be? You'd be like, oh, I want to go to Bora Bora today. Great. Oh yeah, sorry, I've been there like 20 times because I can just do it with a flick of a finger. Do you know what I mean? You get fed up of the fact that you can just be anywhere whenever you want to do it.
You would teleport there and you're like, I've got to wait for everyone on the plane now.
Yeah, exactly. But like, I'm just here on my own. When are you guys going to be here? No, don't get me wrong, it would still be cool to teleport.
Yeah. But be handy just to teleport to work, to the gym, back. I feel like the teleportation would be handy for the mundane activities you got to do.
Exactly, the mundane.
And can you take stuff with you when you teleport? Like if can I take my shopping bags with me?
Yeah, I feel like as long as it's touching your person.
So then could I have all my friends cling on to me?
Yeah, but there'll only be a certain amount of people that can like put their fingers on you and like touch you.
Yeah.
But then I guess that could probably be a good a lot of people.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm saying no to that now.
Okay. So I can't take anything with me.
You're completely naked. Your clothes.
You just turn up everywhere naked.
Only your body turns up in that place.
How would you pick where you locate to as well? Do you just think of the place?
I'd leave bags around the world in different places, and then so let's say it's like a changing room. I would just leave a bag in the loft in like a locker or something.
In a loft, yeah. Then you'll teleport into the changing room. Everyone will see you. You're scrambling, nuts out, trying to get into the roof. They're like, "What you do?" It's like, "No, wait, my clothes."
Everyone would know who you are at that point and be like, "Oh, it's just teleported in." Classic.
Yeah, classic.
Why are you always naked? Sorry, it's just a part of my power.
Well, you couldn't tell anyone you're teleporting. You would be experimented on.
Yeah, but then you just teleport away. They'll be like, chase me, go on. Like, how are you going to get me? Do you know what I mean? You'd literally be able to do you know what I mean? You could be in the test center and they'll be like, we're about to stick a needle in you. And you're like, bye.
Yeah. You can't really stop someone flicking a finger. We all saw Thanos, didn't we?
Exactly.
So, yeah. It's quite easy.
What a great conversation.
Bringing it back to F1. Couple things came up actually. I saw an interesting point, and it's basically drivers are forcing other drivers off the track and taking the 5-second penalty because it's worth it because the other driver was holding them up so much.
Mm-hmm.
So then drivers are now complaining that the penalties aren't severe enough.
Mm-hmm.
But what people were saying,
I agree with that actually.
Yeah, because it's not really a penalty if you let's say, do you remember in Saudi when Magnussen was holding everyone up and then Hulkenberg got points?
Yeah.
It's like, what if if someone, to be fair, he just took, people could have just dived down the inside, taken the penalty, driven off, they would have gained more than 5 seconds and then got the points or something. And it's been done before by drivers, like George Russell's done it and stuff like that.
So how would you combat that?
So they were thinking of, and this is something that's in MotoGP, it's called a long lap. So on a specific lap, let's say you had the old Spanish layout, and you got a new layout with the fast corner.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if for the long lap, you have to take the slow chicane and go through?
Okay.
But the issue is with that one, it's like you're coming onto a really fast corner. So that doesn't really work. You know what I mean? Because you might come on slowly and someone's going to come on quickly and smack into the back of you sort of thing.
Yeah.
But the theory of a long lap where you basically do a slower version for one lap and you fall back however far you fall back.
Is there not a sense of, though, that if you, I feel like no matter what the penalty is, there'll be ways of.
Yeah, but then you make them enforce it within 3 laps.
Okay.
And you just got to do the slow lap, and then slow lap adds a certain delta to the total lap.
Yeah, the difficulty is you could cause an accident.
You could,
and a driver, has to come out and has to forfeit the race or whatever you call it, and you get still a 5-second penalty where you have to do a long lap, and it still doesn't feel. But then you can't really do anything.
It's hard, yeah. It's basically because at least the long lap means they drop back behind. So it works in situations where they force someone off to get past, and they know they're going to gain 5 seconds on them. But then if they made the long lap, then they just get stuck. Rather than taking the penalty at the end of the race, they get stuck back behind the driver again and have to overtake them. It's basically, rather than them taking the penalty and it doesn't affect them, it's a penalty that's going to put them right back behind where they were trying to get past. And they've got to do the work all over again. So it's not going to incentivize them making a mistake.
No, yeah. I mean, it's definitely not a bad idea, I think. They do that in Formula E, don't they?
Yes, they do in Formula E.
But I swear that's not for like...
They've got a boost.
Penalties, is it?
Yeah,
that's
so you
for like...
go on a really...
It's a part of...
Yeah, you take a wide line to get an extra boost for the rest of the lap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or there's other forms of
in rally
motorsport, isn't it? Yeah, where you're like, you have to do a long lap at least once in the race. You just choose when you do it or something.
Yeah, that's
very
rally,
interesting.
Yeah, which is really cool. So it's like you pick when you do that. So it's a game of like, am I going to be stuck in traffic? Should I just get it out the way early, then have clean air?
Yeah.
And other drivers might do it early. So then you're like, when should I do it? Should I do it on the last lap? If you're leading for the whole thing, yeah. So it is interesting.
I think the long lap thing could happen just generally anyway. Like you could do that in Formula One anyway. It doesn't. I feel like you don't necessarily need to do that as a
penalty.
Penalty, but you could implement both. So you could go, right, we're going to do long laps this year. You have to do one long lap every race. That's great, but you can do it whenever you want. If you have a penalty, you have to do an additional one.
Yeah.
I mean, that's make things quite interesting, I think.
Yeah. I think the hardest thing about it would be finding the tracks where they have the space to do the long lap.
True.
Because the Formula One cars already do pretty much the longest variant of the track that you can do.
Yeah. Good point.
So there's very few times where it's
Yeah, good point.
But no, just an interest, just a thought, just an idea.
No, yes, definitely a good idea. And what did you say they do that in MotoGP?
Yeah, and it works in MotoGP because it's less dangerous because they're smaller, they're going slower, and so
it's less dangerous. They fly off and break their necks.
Yeah. Okay, when I mean less dangerous, I mean there's less chance for crash because the bikes are so much smaller. The distance between the apex and the outside of the track is so much further in terms of bikes than it is. It's only like 3 cars width, but it's like 12 bikes.
Yeah.
What the bike to car ratio is, but
yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So it's like they because they join in on the outside again and then carry on.
Yeah.
And it's So it's cool.
Good idea.
But yeah. And then also,
go on.
Bit more news.
Oh, news.
There is potentially a new point system being added in.
Is it?
Yeah.
Have I completely missed this?
Ciaran, what is the point system?
Come here.
I was going to say, come here. This is not picking up any sound.
No. Ready?
So say.
You know what? You're going to sit. You're going to sit and talk.
Great.
Welcome, Ciaran.
Hello.
Fancy
being here.
I'm going to be.
Okay.
And then
so Ciaran, just talk into the mic.
So it's for the top 12 drivers instead of the top 10. And basically the top 7 stay the same in terms of the points. So instead of going then 8, 6, 4, 2, 1, it'll go 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 down to 12, which I like. I think more drivers getting more points is good. And I just think it'll give the smaller teams more chance to make up money in the end of the constructors with it. And especially drivers like, Tsunoda, who finished 11 pretty much every race, will actually be rewarded for that.
Yeah.
Rather than finishing 16th, 17th, which is a long way down.
Yeah. I think that at the moment, there's no distinction between 11th and 20th. Like, there's no benefit for finishing higher up unless you finish on equal points, and then it's down to the number of P11s you finish. But
Russell would have really liked it in early days in Williams. I think
that
would have benefited his career a lot.
Yeah,
the amount of time it took him to get a point. But I think it's good. I think it'll be.
I think it's good. I think it is, and I think it also means that there's a point to the battles.
Yeah,
because like there was a great battle between who was it between? There was like a lap on lap battle between a couple guys.
I think at the end, especially you had like Albon and Gasly doing quite well for it, and then that would have been for the final points this time, right? So I mean, I'm more positive for it, and I think it's a good change to make for it. I think a lot of people have said they want every driver to get points, but I think this is a good middle ground between being one of the better drivers and then in the race, and then also, as you said, it gives more room for the sort of that later spot to get something from it. No, I'm generally quite happy with it. I will also say me and JJ did not plan to be in uniform today.
We didn't plan to both be on camera.
Yeah, pretty much. When he picked me up this morning, I was like, "Oh, this is great.
We are both
the exact same color scheme."
Yeah, if you're listening on podcast, we're both wearing a brown quarter zip.
Yeah,
like pretty much the exact same one.
Yeah,
Ciaran actually copied me, by the way. I wore this to work first, and then he wore it a few weeks later.
Yeah,
so
exactly. That's definitely what happened.
Yeah. So this was not planned, but yes. Cool. All right, Adam, you want to hop back in and then
do the sign off sheet?
Yeah. Thank you.
It's a nice jumper though. Do you know what? I'm gonna get one.
We're all gonna wear the lights out drip. Yeah. To be fair, we're 45 minutes into this podcast, so thank you very much for watching. I actually forgot to say at the beginning, if you're enjoying, please share it with your mates. Like, subscribe. Is that a thing? The podcast subscribe. I asked this last time. I still don't know.
Follow it.
I
think it's follow
and listen. Share it with your mates if you like it, if you're enjoying it.
Thanks to all the people that are listening.
Yes, thank you very much. But yeah, it's been Lights Out.
And take care.
Peace.